Every time this conversation comes up, people immediately assume you're attacking Christianity. People, I am not attacking Christianity. But what I am attacking is the idea that the government should be deciding what children are taught to believe. Those are two completely different conversations. I recently saw a cartoon that showed the 10 Commandments hanging in the classroom. But instead of the traditional commandments, it simply said in the picture, I think it said, thou shalt not impose your religion on others. Yeah, that's what it says. It's in the thumbnail. Thou shalt not impose your religion on others. At first, when I saw it, I laughed because it was cute, But then I realized that might actually be one of the healthiest principles a free society can actually have. Think about it. If you believe Christianity is true, then your faith shouldn't need a government classroom to survive. If you're a Muslim, you probably don't want Christianity being taught as fact by the government, If you Jewish, you probably don't want someone else's interpretation of your scriptures hanging on the wall. I'm thinking here, even as an atheist, if you're an atheist, you don't want tax dollars being used to promote beliefs you don't accept. So here's the real question, y'all. Who gets to decide which religion the government teaches? Somebody has to make that decision. People love saying, put the 10 Commandments back in schools. All right, okay. But I ask, which 10 Commandments? And here's why. Most people don't realize there isn't just one universally accepted version of the 10 Commandments. The Jewish tradition numbers them completely different than many Christian traditions. Catholics divide them differently than most Protestants do. Some translations say one thing, the other translations say something else. So before the government hangs them in a classroom, we need to know which version wins. Who gets to decide? Hell, that's the problem. The second government starts choosing winners in religion, that automatically creates losers. Now, imagine your favorite political party loses the next election. There we go. And a new administration comes in. A new school board takes over. Now they decide the classroom should display verses from, and I don't even think they call them verses, but let's just say they choose to display the Vedas. Would you support government-sponsored religion then? What if they choose the Vedas? What if they choose the Book of Mormon? Or, I'm being funny here, what if they chose the Satanic People's Principles? Would you still say the government should teach religion? Or would you suddenly discover that government being neutral isn't such a bad idea after all? See, it's easy to support government power when it's helping your side. The test comes when that same power belongs to something or someone you actually disagree with. That's why the Constitution wasn't written to protect popular opinions. It was written to protect unpopular ones too. Religious freedom don't exist because everyone agrees. It exists because everyone doesn't. Here's something I think both believers and non-believers should agree on, at least. The government ain't your pastor. The government ain't your rabbi. They ain't your priest. its job isn't to shape your theology. The government's job is to protect your freedom to practice your theology. And I was thinking about this last night, man. That's just two different responsibilities. Now, let me shift gears, because I know some people gonna hear this and immediately says, well, America was founded as a Christian nation. Even if you believe that, ask yourself another question. Does Christianity become more true because a politician votes for it? Can Congress make God more real? Can a governor strengthen the resurrection? Can a school board increase evidence for miracles? Of course not. Heck no. See, the truth doesn't need political approval. If Christianity is true, then it's true whether it's hanging on a classroom wall or not. If it's false, then putting it on a classroom wall doesn't suddenly make it true. Government has never been able to vote truth into existence, though. History actually teaches us the opposite. Whenever governments become deeply involved in religion, religion usually becomes more political, and politics becomes more religious. Neither one comes out for the better, though. Faith becomes a loyalty test, and questioning becomes dangerous. Minority beliefs get pushed aside, and eventually people stop believing because they're convinced. They believe because they're expected to, and that ain't really faith. That's not faith. Real belief doesn't come from being surrounded by Bible verses every day. Real belief comes from being convinced something is actually true. There's another point almost no one talks about. Public schools don't belong to one church. They don't belong to one denomination. They don't belong to one religion. They belong to every taxpayer, regardless, Christian, Jew, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, agnostic, atheist, skeptics, everyone. To me, that means the government has a responsibility to educate all children, not discipline them. Parents have the right to teach religion. Churches have the right to teach religion. Synagogues have the right to teach religion. Families have that responsibility. Governments don't. And before somebody says you're trying to remove Christianity from America, no, I'm not. But what I am saying is Christianity shouldn't need the government to defend it. The earliest Christians didn't spread their message because Caesar put Bible verses in Roman classrooms, y'all. They spread because people believe what they were actually saying. Whether you agree with Christianity or not, that's how ideas should spread. Through persuasion, not government endorsement. Here's the danger. The same government power you celebrate today can be used against you tomorrow. Hear me out. Power doesn't stay in the hands of your side forever. It changes. It always changes. That's why limited government matters, y'all. That's why religious liberty matters. And that's why freedom of conscience matters. You don't protect your religion by giving politicians authority over it. You protect your religion by making sure politicians never have the authority or have that authority in the first place. So maybe the lesson isn't keep religion out of the schools. Maybe it's something much bigger. Keep government out of your faith. The moment politicians start deciding what your children should believe, your freedom has already begun to disappear. I'm CJ, the Jewish skeptic. No fear, no dogma, just clarity. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe, leave a comment, and let me know where you stand. Should the government ever promote one religion in public schools, or is being neutral on religion the better path? Let's have that conversation below. Catch y'all next time.
Do you know what I found? The more you know, the less you know.